Welcome back, guys. Brock Page here on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Chicago opens up Sunday's action at Washington. Chicago's catching 7.5, totals at 213 flat, and Washington's the $3 favorites to win it. Both teams come into Sunday's matchup with 3-1 records against the spread in their last four. The Bulls hold the slight advantage in the location game, going 11-7 against the spread on the road. Let's go ahead and take a look at what the markets are doing in this one. And when it comes to the spread, we actually saw Washington take most of the early action. The Wizards opened 6.5, now 7.5. Total open 212. Line moved upward to 213. And at the moment, the Wizards continue to take most of the public action. 53% of the public bettors are leaning toward Washington in this one. Now, the Wizards have been fairly solid against the number as of late, although they struggled earlier in the month. Once again, the Wizards are 3-1 ATS in their last four, but went just 4-6 against the number in their last 10. Washington's also struggled severely to cover at Capital One Arena. They've covered just 7 of 17 contests on their home court. They're going up against a Bulls squad who continues to catch points game in and game out, and they're also facing a Bulls team who continues to cover game in and game out. Chicago's an astounding 9-1 against the number in their last 10, 13-2 ATS in their last 15. The Bulls are also atop the league when it comes to covering the spread overall, going 23-12 covering in all games. Now, scoring-wise, good amount of overs in these Chicago games. 3-1 to the over in their last 4, 7-3 to the overs in their last 10. Meanwhile, on the other side, very similar sentiment as Washington, 3-1 to the over in their last 4 themselves. All said and done, it looks like I'll be making 2 plays in this one in full agreement with the public, the other in full agreement with the sharps. All told, I'm going to purchase the hook, buy it up, and take the Chicago Bulls +8 with the over, 213 in this one. Next game, Minnesota laying 3.5 on the road at Indiana. Totals at an even 212. Indiana holds the slight advantage at 20-16 against the spread overall. Minnesota's covered just 15 of 36 in their games overall on their side of the ball. But before we go chalking this one up as an easy cover for the Pacers, this Indiana squad's been terrible against the number as of late. Pacers are 0-4 against the spread in their last 4. They've also covered just 4 of 9 contests as the official home underdog. They're going up against a Minnesota team who's covering a solid 75% of their games as the official road favorite. But they've also covered just 3 of 11 in their games that tipped off at the current number. So it looks like I'll be staying away from sides in this one. If you have an idea as where this is going, or you have a good beat or tip, feel free to let me know in the comments section who you think's going to cover in this one. Now, scoring-wise, good amount of overs have been hit in these Minnesota contests. They've gone 3-1 to the over in their last 4, 7-3 to the over in their last 10. That said, though, we're seeing a completely different story on the Indiana side of things. Just 1-2 to the over in their last 3, 4-6 to the over in their last 10. Not sure where this total is going to end up, and to be honest with you, I really don't know where the line's going to move either. All that in mind, though, looks like I'm going to take a free pass on this one. But once again, as always, if you think you have a beat on this game, feel free to let us all know in the comment section below. Next game, Brooklyn +9.5 at Boston. Totals at an even 210 points. The Celtics are 550 to win this one outright. Look for them to be utilized in a money line parlay or two. And at the moment, just 38% are leaning toward Brooklyn to cover in this one. And with that in mind, this Brooklyn team has struggled against the number as of late. They're 1-2 in their last 3, 4-6 ATS in their last 10. Meanwhile, on the Boston side, they're starting to heat up just a little bit for the markets. They're 3-1 against the spread in their last 4 contests themselves. Overall, both teams pretty good against the number overall this year. Boston holding the slight advantage. The Celtics are 26-13 against the number overall. Brooklyn 20-15 on their side of things themselves. Location trend, not much of an issue for either team either. Brooklyn's 12-8 covering on the road. Boston's 12-8 covering at the Garden. Both teams also very equal when it comes to opponents' win percentage. Brooklyn's 7-4 covering against teams over 500. Meanwhile, Boston's gone 9-5 ATS versus teams under 500. Lots of numbers, real jambly stats I just ripped off for you. Short story long, though. both teams match up quite evenly when it comes to the number. Now, scoring-wise, Boston's 2-2 to the over in their last 4, 6-4 to the over in their last 10. Meanwhile, a little bit different story on the Brooklyn side of things. Their games went just 3-7 to the over in their last 10. Not much interest in the total for me here. Going to sit this one out when it comes to the scoring. I'm also leaning toward a play on the Celtics, but this 9.5 number is just a little bit too much for me. Brooklyn tends to keep them close at times when they lose. So once again, all that information in mind, I'm going to once again take a free pass on this game. As always, let me know what you think in the comments section below. All right, next game, Lakers, Houston. Huge numbers in this one. Houston's laying 15.5. Totals at 227. Houston's laying 1,500 on the money line. Lakers 5-5 ATS in their last 10. Houston's 0-5 against the number in their last 5. Lakers hold the advantage when it comes to the actual number, 2-0 in their games that tipped off at the current point spread. Houston's gone 0-2 covering in their games around the current point spread themselves. Before we go ahead and break down a few more trends, let's just go ahead and take a look at some of the line movement in this one. Houston opened 14, now 15.5. Total open 225, now 227. Look for the Rockets to be involved in a good amount of money line parlays tomorrow. They're once again laying 1,500 on the money line. Now, location-wise, the Toyota Center has not been all too kind to Houston backers. This Rockets team has covered just 7 of 18 in the friendly confines. Houston's also covering just 38% of their games as the official home favorite. They're going up against a Lakers squad who's 8-8 covering on the road and have been real good against the best teams in the league. Right now, the Lakers are 10-4 ATS versus teams over 500. Now, total-wise, Lakers games are 4-1 to the over in their last 5, 8-2 to the over in their last 10. Meanwhile, same song and dance on the Houston side of things, as their games went 7-3 to the overs in their last 10 themselves. Looks like a lean toward the over would certainly be a sensible play, although neither team has had a total tip off at this very high 227 number in weeks. So despite really liking a play on the total, I'm going to forego a play on the line, and I'm going to take the Lakers on the spread. So all told, I'm going to purchase the hook, buy it up, and take the LA Lakers plus 16, getting the job done. Next game, Charlotte plus 2.5 at the Clippers. Totals at 213 and a hook. Clippers are $1.40 on the money line. LA's 3-1 against the spread in their last 4. Charlotte's just 2-2 against the number in their last 4 themselves. Now, before I dive into a few more trends, we've had some significant movement on the number in this one you definitely want to know about. The markets actually opened the handle with the Clippers as the 5-point favorites. Since the betting opened up, though, the visiting Hornets took most of that early action and moved the line down to just 2.5. Best spot to be in if you're leaning toward Los Angeles. Looks like they're starting to take some more public money, so this one should tip off anywhere between 3.5 to 4 by the closing bell. And if you're leaning Clippers, the trends certainly support your decision. Clippers against the spread 18-16 overall, 8-7 at the Staples Center, 10-6 laying the points. They're going up against a Charlotte team who struggled against the number all year long. They're just 14-21 overall, 4-11 away from home, 5-14 when catching points. Even worse than all that, yeah, it gets worse. The Charlotte Ball Club has failed to cover 7 of 8 games that tipped off at the current point spread. Now, when it comes to total in this one, we've seen a good amount of unders in these Charlotte games, 4-6 of the under in their last 10 to be exact. Completely different story on the Clippers side, as 5 of their last 6 went over the closing number on the total. So all that in mind, I'll be avoiding a play on the total in this one. Not sure where that line's going to move either. I'll also forego a play on the money line winner, but I do like the Clippers on the spread at home here. So all told, I'm going to purchase the hook, buy it down, and take the LA Clippers -2, getting the job done at home. All right, I'm going to slide to my final 2 games for the show. We're going to start with Memphis at Sacramento. We're going to move quick here. This one opened up as a pick. Now Sacramento laying 3. Total opened to $1.95. Now $1.94 flat. Memphis is 12-23 against the number overall. Sacramento's just 15-20 themselves. Sacramento games went 3-1 to the over in their last 4, and 2 out of the Grizzlies' last 3 went over the line themselves. I'm going to take a free pass on this one strictly due to a lack of interest. If you think you have a winner in this one, as always, let me know in the comments. And for my next and final game for the show, a real dud. Sixers at Phoenix. Sixers open 4.5, now 3. Total open 219.5, now 221 flat. Both teams not bad against the number. Sixers are 18-16 overall. Phoenix is 20-17 themselves. Phoenix has been pretty good covering this month, 7-3 against the number in their last 10. They're also taking care of their fellow cellar dwellers. They're 9-6 covering against teams under 500. Both teams are 2-2 to the over in their last 4. Not going to make a play on the total in this one. I do like the Suns catching a few at home here. I don't really trust the process in this spot, especially laying a bucket on the road. All told, though, I'm going to take a free pass, although I'd probably lean Phoenix plus the points if you made me. All told, though, I'm going to forego a play on everything and just enjoy watching the game on TV taking place at the Talking Stick Resort. All right, folks, that is going to do it for me. Happy New Year's Eve. Enjoy it. Be safe, but have a lot of fun. Seriously, go wild. We got a lot of sports, a lot of great games to bet on, and if you're out in Vegas, certainly a lot of booze to consume. So have a great time, folks. Have fun. As far as I go, that is going to do it for me. I am not a sports betting expert. I always have to remind you that, nor do I implore you to take any of my picks. A wise man once said, good ain't free, and free ain't good. If for some reason you decide to use the free information on this program, you're utilizing it at your own discretion. Most importantly, if you're betting any of these games, do it safe, do it responsibly, and most important, have fun. For Brock Page Productions, Happy New Year's. I'm Brock Page. And have yourself a positive day and a positive year.